Hi there. I said that I'd start sending out the messages with regard to the Grow Free from Shackles program. I said to you that this isn't a kind of give me your name for my list, or I'm not trying to kind of move you on to another program or anything. It's just something that, you know, how long I have had this within me, the Free from Shackles. Before the Grow Free from Shackles, there was the Free from Shackles, and just recognising the importance of it. You know, I remember years and years ago really loving that song, Shackles, and by Mary. I remember it coming on. Actually, I was in a club and it came on. I thought, oh, I love this. And I think one way or another in my unconscious, it stayed with me. And probably about 6 years ago, I started this notion of free from shackles, but didn't do anything with it. And then the Grow Free from Shackles has come more recently. And I suppose in a way, it's being aware that there's a process. You know, that free from shackles obviously is perhaps the ultimate aim. And then we've got the growth that we acquire in that journey. So really the focus is upon the growing free, and the kind of what we need to be doing really in order to be able to grow free from shackles. And you know, I have no sense of what those shackles may be. You know, shackles can be habits, people, behaviours, thoughts, circumstance, jobs, whatever. It could be anything. You know, it could be just being stuck in a position of not being able to make a decision that is serving ourselves and enabling us to be who we are. I mean, because ultimately for me it's about growing colours, and it's about being who we are, as I've said to you before. So the acronym came about because I was asked to deliver a workshop, and I thought, oh, okay, Grow Free from Shackles. And I then played about with what I meant by growing free from shackles, and used the acronym of SHACKLES to kind of hook all of the components around. So that's why I'm doing it in that way. So we begin with S, clearly, from shackles. And that, for me, and in this process, represents silence. So the first S is silence. So we're talking about the importance of silence, the value of silence to not only our kind of growth away from shackles, but from kind of just all the noise that's in the world, all the messages out there that come to us that we allow in, and sometimes we don't even realise that we're doing that. And also the chatter, as they call it, that we carry within us, the inner voice that we carry within us, the inner critic, some people call it, or the inner parent, depending on what school of thought you're going with. But those voices that are within us that kind of perhaps give us messages that aren't very nurturing, aren't very conducive to growth. Also, we live in a really, really busy world. When I wake up in the morning, I've got a beautiful view. You can see behind me here, this is a view outside my home office, and it's the same view, similar view, that I have outside my bedroom, so opposite my bed. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is to kind of look and give myself time to kind of appreciate the fact that I've woken up, the fact that I have this splendid view, the fact that nature is just beautiful in its own right, you know, without any effort. And really, that, just on that note, you know, that's a real message to us of how beautiful nature is. So how beautiful we are when we're just being who we are. That's not why I'm here, but I just want to highlight that. And you know, I have electrical equipment in my bedroom. Some would say don't do that, but I do have my kind of iPad and my phone in my bedroom, and you know, the temptation to kind of check in on social media, what's going on out there. But actually, before we do that, let's check in. What's going on in here? What's going on in here? You know, and for some of us, many of us, but for some of us in particular, silence can present issues. You know, it's difficult sometimes to find that space where we can just be quiet and be in our own selves, in our own skin, be present, and just have time to step back. And I think that because we're living in this kind of fast moving world, and particularly when you're talking about kind of business and entrepreneurial kind of business, there's a lot of focus right now, and I've said this before, on hustling and grinding, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there's also a lot to be said for being silent. And I think that because we may be being schooled towards a thought process, which is, if we're not doing, we're not doing. You know, if we're not doing, then we're wasting. No, being silent is I've said this before, I'm sure, in a post, but it's the space that we are allowing ourselves for growth. You know, we do not plant a seed and continually water because you must grow, you must grow. We don't do that. We give it a bit of air, we give it a bit of light, we may reposition it, we give it space to grow. And that's what we need to do for ourselves, because sometimes we can lose sight of what it is that we're trying to do, what it is that we want. And the space and the silence can help us to tune into that. And it's all there. I've said this before, it's all here. We have it all already. And it can take us quite some time to realise that we have it. I mean, you can see behind me I've got loads and loads of books. I love my books. I've got loads on my iPad. Love my books, love reading, always tuning into YouTube, always kind of learning and growing in that way. And that's fantastic. But there needs to be time to allow that to digest. So to use a similar analogy to the plant, sometimes I'm hungry and I eat. I don't continually eat throughout the day, because if I don't eat, I'm not going to get big and strong. That's not going to happen. In fact, that's really not going to happen if I continue to eat throughout the day, as we know. So I need time to digest the food, and also whilst eating to enjoy the food. So, you know, the silence bit is about finding that space. You know, it could be first thing in the morning, it could be last thing at night, it could be during your lunch break if you're in a 9 to 5 or whatever. Sometimes it's in the car. My car's a fantastic space. Okay, it's not quite silent, but sometimes, you know, no music, no YouTube, no motivational CD, and just me. And I sometimes come up with my greatest ideas in those moments. So, you know, it's about the shackles breaking, growing free from, first port of call being silence. I'm going to be checking in with you again. I know that this video is a bit later than I said, and actually I did say audio, but I decided that I may as well stick with the video, and I'll be moving on to the next letter in the SHACKLES acronym. Okay, take care now. Bye bye.